Hi all, it's Piotr. Let's have a quick look at my newest Omnibus, Avengers by Jones and Coipel. This is how it presents. This is the back cover. Here is what it contains. We have Avengers 57 to 84, Vision 1 through 4, Thor 58, Iron Man 64, and New Invaders 0. This omnibus fills the gap between two runs, between Busiek and the New Avengers creator, Michael Bendis. Let me show you how it looks under the task jacket. Here we have the Avengers roosters in this omnibus. Great piece of art. Let's go inside. Inside we have storylines that are really interesting, for sure, and it all starts with slowly the Wanda Maximoff getting to the point of no return, at least for a moment. And the main, let's just call him, focus on is Jack of Hearts, one of the Avengers. And as you can see here, we have Hank Pym and Janet. We all know how the relationships was going up and down. Even now, in this moment, it all starts with vanishing of capitals of different countries, and the Avengers needs to do something with it. But Wanda is in the middle of starting to get to that point with her crisis. Here we have another Jack of Hearts with other Avengers that, let's just say, have some other issues with his daughter, and his confrontation with Scott Lang, that is Ant-Man, is not very pleasant. As you can see, Captain must intervene. And here we go again, Wanda and her problems. The art is really solid. In the meantime, we have Vision that still have some issues with himself. We have Namor. And here we have Scorpio. It is really interesting how it was moved forward with this. How Scorpio and In-Betweener worked with the force of order and chaos. And this timer for Jack of Hearts and Wanda. It's really explosive period for them. We have even Doctor Doom, In-Betweener. A lot is going on here, but for me it's how Jones was able to move between all those different heroes, Avengers in this case. And here we have the very angry Thor, Wanda using her powers, and Scorpio is doing what he can to accomplish his mission. And this here we have from In-Betweener the message that we will understand later on about the loss of one of their own, of the Avengers. Here we have the Zodiac. And miniseries of Vision, because he was injured in the previous issues, and now we are getting the beginnings of the hero that we now know as Vision, how he was created before Ultron used the body of Android, Synthezoid, if you prefer this way. So it's really good that they can do it in chronological order to read about this. Emotions of Vision is also very cool plotline. And then we go with Del Rusk, Secretary of Defense. So politics, Avengers, to keep this world safe, and it's not an easy task. And still Jack is fighting with himself to preserve himself, and Avengers on one picture. And Mr. Rusk is being paid by, as you can see here, someone is watching him, and not only him. The fight for Lang about his daughter. Sometimes it breaks hearts when you watch how it was going on. Then we have the confrontation between Iron Man and then really powerful Thor. So it was a really cool plotline. And then we go to the main, really cool storyline, according to me. Confrontation with one of the enemies of Captain America. Wanda using her powers. Avengers doing what they can to stop this. Because it was a weapon. And who could create this weapon? Of course. What country could create something that Mount Rushmore would be infected as people, all those dead people? It was shocking when I read it in single issues previously. But really good. I really enjoyed how it was moved forward. And then we have the issues with, again, Jack of Hearts and his touch on She-Hulk, what it means, what he can do to her. And still the politics, Del Rusk. It was very biological weapon that was cool, but Black Panther did what he is best at, getting to the source. But check out how magnificent Scarlet Witch and her powers looks. Beautiful art for sure. This was a little bit spicy. It's a reminder of this storyline, if this would go further. Identity crisis, of course. But in this case, Hank Pym was able to stop what was going on. The search for She-Hulk, maybe not the best of this whole storyline. Even involving the original Hulk. and Jack of Hearts trying to solve problems that he created in some way. And Jack of Hearts, it all started with him, and it ends, the main story that was really cool, ends with him avenging, doing what he was. He was an Avenger. Remember that he will come back in one way in New Avengers by Bendis. Then we have the new iteration of going there, at least. We have new iteration of Captain Britain, the loss of woman. The mother was lost for their children. But why and how this happened is this really emotional issue, and how or why she was chosen. Here we have New Britain, a decision she made to choose a sword over amulet. It will cost her a lot in her family. Morgan Le Fay fighting again, but Avengers do their best to stop her before restoring London, England. And then we have, as you can see here, Wanda and Invader, funeral for one of Avengers. A lot is going on here for sure in this omnibus. But remember, it's filling the gap that we were waiting for a long time. Let's see what we have at the end. Member profiles. Not much, but still, if you are looking to read some cool stuff by Jones in Marvel Universe, I think this omnibus will be good for you. I really appreciate how Marvel created it. Not all the storylines in the omnibus are for me great, but almost all of them are really, really cool.